Hey guys, Mike here. Welcome back to One Man Op Fishing. Today I just wanted to shoot a little video on why I love to fish so much, specifically bass fishing. I've done all kinds of fishing in my life, saltwater, brackish water. Down in South Florida, you've got a multitude of ways to fish. I also love to crab. I love going after blue crabs, which I have not done in a while, but I plan to shoot some videos of me crabbing. I haven't crabbed in a number of years. And there's different reasons for that, but we'll cover them maybe later. But first I want to say, hey, if you're watching this video on YouTube, if you're watching it on Facebook, one of my posts, and you enjoy it, or you enjoy some of the past videos, think about subscribing, think about giving me a like, and as always, leave me a comment. Very interested in what you have to say. I always try and respond. I do the best I can. So let's get to it. Why do I love to bass fish? One of my earliest memories from when I was a little kid, and I mean 3 or 4, I was either fishing a dock or off a boat. My father loved to fish. He grew up in New Jersey on the Hackensack River, so he did a lot of crabbing, a lot of fishing as a kid, and I think he wanted to pass that on. But I remember fishing with maybe a piece of shrimp and hooking into a catfish, I believe it was. It's been so long, I can only remember the incident, not all the details, but I didn't land the fish, but I got it out of the water, and I remember that excitement I felt. And from there, it just progressed. We fished the Everglades almost every weekend from the time I could stand, myself, my father, and my younger brother, Joe. And, once you get used to feeling that adrenaline, that feeling of, usually when you're a young kid, you're fishing with live bait, shiners normally. And, you toss your shiner out there. It's not the most difficult kind of fishing, although I still lost plenty of fish even though I was fishing with live bait. But the feeling of when that bobber would start to move or go down, the anticipation of the hook set, and then the reeling in of the fish. And of course, back then we kept all the bass, we ate them. But you are fishing the Everglades, which is, thousands of square miles of water. So it isn't like you're gonna deplete the fish in the Everglades fishing some little bitty spot out there off Highway 27. So I think the original thing that drew me in as a little kid was the adrenaline, and to this day, if you watch any of my videos, you'll hear me, become very excited when I catch a fish. You'll hear me breathing heavy. And it's not because I'm winded, it's because you get a bit of an adrenaline drop when you hook into something good sized, and it never goes away. In fact, I think it's gotten more pronounced as I've gotten older and become a better fisherman. You're looking for that next little adrenaline hit. So that's an important thing. Number 2, I love being outside. Again, in South Florida, we don't really have a winter. We go from a hot summer to a moderately hot fall to a semi-cool winter, then to a little bit warmer spring, and then right back to hell. So, it's August right now. It's very hot. I'll be out doing some fishing tomorrow, but an hour and a half in that afternoon sun, and you're about baked. So being outside is a big part of it. The things I've seen in the Everglades you can't believe, from hawks and eagles and snakes, and I mean, you name it, you get exposed to it when you're out with nature. And I still love that. I love to see the squirrels coming down at 5:30 looking for food, the birds, the ducks, all of that. Every once in a while you get to save one or two, as I've done in past videos. So that's nice. Being out someplace quiet, alone. We've become this industrialized, mechanized country where everyone's got their cell phone with them all the time. And, there's just no getting away from it. So it's a good for a couple hours, maybe it's twice a week, 3 times a week, or if it's only once a week, that's fine. Get out, away from the technology. It's just you, your fishing pole, your reel, up against the fish. And a lot of times you're running into some very good people. Some of the finest people I've ever met or known have been bass fishermen that I've met just out somewhere fishing. We're all in this together, so to speak. So that's great. That's a big part of it, being outside. One of the other things, especially growing up, was the whole bonding. There's something to be said about a father and a son, brother, sister, out fishing together. It's just a lot of fun. And my father didn't just take us. Lots of neighbors. A couple videos back, I talked about Julio, who gave me the bass fishing jacket. He used to take Julio out, Robert, his younger brother. They all loved to fish. And my father would take them with us, bass fishing, crabbing, all of those things. So bonding, I think, is a very big part of it for me. At least it was. I don't really have relatives to fish with now. My younger brother passed away in 2011, and my father passed away a couple of years ago, but that's okay. One of the things that I love about fishing is I'm able to remember them. When I'm out fishing in a spot we used to fish out in the Everglades or some of the other local spots we'd hit, it's very nice to remember those times and all the fun we had catching bass. So that's also a big part of it, the whole bonding thing. I think, maybe one of the other reasons I love to bass fish is it's the whole man against nature type thing. Whether you are out in nature trying to survive. There's a show that I like called Naked and Afraid, where they take two people, drop them in the middle of nowhere for 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 40 days, different amounts of time. And, they've got to survive on their own. They've got to hunt, they've got to fish, they've got to do all these things that humans used to do. So part of it is that challenge. Now, luckily, I'm not out naked fishing. I don't think that would go over too well in some of the places that I fish, but it's a lot of fun, so you're out there, you're up against the bass. The bass has got a little brain, you've got a large brain, but a lot of days the bass are outsmarting you. They're just not falling for that fake worm you've got in the water or anything else. Now, you're fishing with live bait, it's a little easier because it's their natural prey and it's live. If anybody ever figures out a way to make an artificial bait look and smell and taste like a shiner or a shad, that will become the most popular lure in history. But so far that hasn't happened. So a lot of it's the challenge. I really enjoy it. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is I run into a lot of people in my line of work who I tell them, they ask me about, I'm usually watching something on YouTube, a fishing show when they come back or something like that. I'm trying to educate myself all the time. And we'll start talking about fishing. And it's usually one or the other. Either people love to fish and they've been fishing, or they have no interest in it at all and they can't figure out why I would waste 2 hours on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon or a weekday, out in the August sun catching bass. And so this is one of the reasons. So if any of those people are watching, that's why. Those last couple of reasons is why I like to go out and fish. So those are just my personal reasons. I'm sure there's a couple more that I haven't thought of, but those are the main ones. I just really have come to enjoy it. And I stopped fishing for a long time. I didn't go out a lot in the last number of years for different reasons, but my father and brother not being with me was part of it. And then I realized, well, I'm not sparing myself anything by not going out. It was tough to remember all those good times, and they're not being around anymore. So for a while I was just put off, and my poles just sat there in a corner in my garage for a couple of years. And then finally, I hate to say thanks to COVID, but because of the whole nightmare last year, I had more time on my hands than usual. Picked up my pole, started going fishing every day. Wow, just fell back in love with it all over again. So now I'm back and was so motivated, I started this YouTube channel. So there you go. And that's part of it too. I'm also really enjoying learning new things. And part of it is the whole GoPro download, upload, edit. It's been a lot of fun for me. So that's maybe the last reason. That was sort of in the back of my mind when I started fishing again, but I never thought I would actually do it. But here we are, a year later. It's been 1 year, a little more than a year that I've been doing this, and I'm really enjoying it. Plus, it's nice to catch all your adventures on film. You don't have to worry about taking pictures anymore. That's awesome. So again, if you're enjoying the videos, whether today's video or some of the past ones, subscribe, like it, comment it, and come back and see me again. So this is Mike here with One Man Op Fishing. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. I won't drop the video tomorrow, but I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. So that's a good thing. All right.